The 2022 NBA trade deadline was seen as pretty underwhelming in the first part of it. I mean, who was getting traded? Aaron Holiday. Yeah, Aaron Holiday. He's going to be your breaking news. No. But then it ended on a very high note. James Harden, yes, James Harden, a superstar in this league, got traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, which looks like it can change the landscape of their team and their identity going into the future. However, though, although that was a big deal, we got to talk about the other ones too, and we will grade every single trade deadline deal that happened. Let's get straight into it. So first, let's start with the James Harden deal. For the 76ers, I'm going to give them a grade of a B. I think they gave up a little bit too much for James Harden, but in the end of the day, you do play to get superstars in this league and give you a better shot at winning a championship. So they did get the superstar they needed so badly. However, though, for the Brooklyn Nets, I'm giving them an A. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond. Yes, I know Andre Drummond's not the best player, but he's some depth. Ben Simmons, though, to me, he has a lot of upside for the Brooklyn Nets. I feel like with a better spacing system, a guy who brings a lot of gravity, and Kevin Durant, I think if you play Ben Simmons at the center spot, or just make sure that the only bigs on the floor are Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant, then Ben Simmons can flourish. I mean, in that system with Joel Embiid, he didn't have space. Joel Embiid takes up a lot of space in the paint, and it made sense why he couldn't get his drives off. So if Ben Simmons can flourish in this offensive system with Kyrie Irving as a pretty good passing point guard and a great creator, and Kevin Durant as a pretty good passer and great creator, then I think he can do something great. His defense will be very important. His passing will help a lot. And yeah, when it comes to the playoffs, who knows what he'll do. But look, Ben Simmons to me is still a star in this league, and he can bring this Brooklyn team to new heights. All right, let's get into the next trade. The Blazers trade Norman Powell and Robert Covington to the Clippers. Norman Powell and Robert Covington for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second-round pick. Now, the Blazers, when it comes to this trade, I don't actually think they lost too much. I give them a C. You know, they wanted to get rid of these players. Norman Powell is not having a good season for them. Gary Trent Jr. has been better this season. And Robert Covington has had an extremely ugly season. It is just something you cannot marvel at. It's a fucking nightmare if you're a Robert Covington fan. However, though, for the Clippers at the same time, for this trade, I give them a B. Because these are forwards that can help you in your front court. And look, depth is always a great thing to have. And I'm definitely taking Norman Powell and Robert Covington over like Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell they had a couple years ago when it comes to their depth. So I'm definitely taking that over them. When Kawhi comes back and Paul George comes back, this looks like a pretty scary team. That's not the only reason they will be scary. Norman Powell and Robert Covington, I think, are a good add to this team. And Norman Powell, before he did get unfortunately injured the other day, was playing pretty well for them. Now let's go to Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers acquire Caris LeVert from the Indiana Pacers. Now, it looks like the Pacers are tanking, but I don't know. They made pretty good trades. I mean, getting Ricky Rubio was not that good, but when you get a first and 2 seconds from the Cavs, that's something you want to see if you're the Indiana Pacers. You know, young players don't cost much money on the books, and we know the Pacers don't like hitting the luxury tax. And also, young players are what you need for somebody who has now Tyrese Halliburton. We'll get into that trade later. Caris LeVert, though, is a great pickup for the Cavs. I give it a B. The Cavs, they gave up quite a bit. I mean, 3 picks for Caris LeVert is definitely questionable, considering LeVert can have some nights where he's just so inefficient. It's ugly. But besides all that, Caris LeVert is a good pickup. They needed some front court help when it comes to scoring. They need another initiator, and Caris LeVert does that. Yes, he will be coming off the bench, but Caris LeVert will add to their already deep bench with Kevin Love. Now, this was one of the bigger trades during the trade deadline. And it was the Trailblazers sending CJ McCollum to the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, I knew the Pelicans wanted a good veteran guard, but I did not expect them to chase CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell for Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander, Tomas Satoransky, Didi Louzada, a first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Now, look, you know, Portland, I give them a C+, because they did give away a lot for Josh Hart. Now, yes, Josh Hart is not the best player in this trade. He's not even the second best player in this trade. But they gave up a lot for him. And look, Josh Hart had a good first game for you. But, I mean, are you really going to also get rid of Larry Nance Jr., somebody that was looked at as an elite role player for you earlier in the season? However, though, for the New Orleans Pelicans, I give them a B+. Mainly because they need a veteran guard. They need somebody to bring in that can help them contribute to wins, and a good, solidified, solid scorer in CJ McCollum can help that. Why they need a win so badly and do that is make sure Zion doesn't leave. Zion has not played many games in his career, but also it wouldn't take much for him to get disgruntled and leave the organization. He loves Brandon Ingram, but look, Brandon Ingram is not going to hold Zion Williamson away from some championships and some bigger brand deals. Zion Williamson is who you are playing for in this trade, and I think they got him a little bit better help. Now look, we knocking out all the big trades first. That's why we're now going on to Domantas Sabonis. Now look, I don't really understand the Kings' idea behind this trade. Maybe it's they want to win more. Maybe it's they just want to go in a different direction. But I wouldn't go into a different direction when your sophomore point guard is averaging 14 points and 7 assists a game. Nonetheless, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson for Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a second-round pick. Now look, the Pacers in this deal get an A. They won this trade. They need to get younger. They need to find a new source of offense. I mean, Domantas Sabonis, pretty reliable offensive player, but when they're going to keep Miles Turner for what seems like 5 decades, you can't really have them play together, and it makes complete sense. The Kings, I don't know if they want to win more, and I'll give them a B- for this trade just because they gave up some really good young potential. I don't know if they want to win more. I think they do. When you miss the playoffs for that many consecutive years, your ultimate goal is just to make it. You don't need to worry about contending yet. Let's just make the playoffs and build a fan base, something that can be respectable, something that they can just go into games and not be like, oh, we're playing the Kings tonight, that's an easy win. I see this from a culture standpoint as something great. If you are trying to build a culture that is a winning culture that they haven't had in their franchise since they were playing the Shaq Lakers in the playoffs, then yes, I completely understand this trade. But from a potential standpoint, I would have never gotten rid of Tyrese Halliburton. Now let's go to Charlotte, where they got Montrezl Harrell for Vernon Carey, Ish Smith, and a second-round pick. I give the Hornets an A on this trade, for the simple fact that yes, they need a center. Montrezl Harrell is not going to bring you defense, but he'll bring you energy. He's not going to bring you much but scoring, efficiency, and a little bit of playmaking. But that's all you need. I mean, LaMelo Ball just needs a good big man to be with, and this is an improvement. By no means is Montrezl Harrell a starting level big man on a playoff team that will go deep, but he is a good depth piece. So look, they gave up basically nothing, and now there was a 4-team trade that went down. The Bucks got Serge Ibaka in a 4-team trade. Now I'm not going to list all of it. I'm only going to list like 3 players that are actually of some level of precedence. Serge Ibaka went to the Bucks. Dante DiVincenzo went to the Kings, and the Pistons got Marvin Bagley III. So for the Bucks, I'm gonna give them a B-. I mean, Brook Lopez, his whole presence has been missed. A guy who can shot block and can shoot the 3 ball. Serge Ibaka is more of a 3-point shooter than he is a defender these days, but he's definitely a really good 3-point shooter for his position. Dante DiVincenzo for the Kings, good young potential. He's been pretty streaky. And then Marvin Bagley for the Pistons. Marvin Bagley has had pretty good seasons in his past years of his career. Never really lived up to his potential. Maybe Cade Cunningham playmaking to him can help that. And then let's go to the Celtics. The Celtics acquired Derek White from the Spurs. Now they gave up quite a bit. Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, 2022 first-round pick, and a 2028 first-round pick swap. That's 2 first-round picks, an okay role player, and a young player for Derek White. But Derek White has been looking really good, so I'm not even going to nitpick or say anything. Derek White was definitely an improvement over anything that they had. Yes, Romeo Langford and Josh Richardson were not even holding up to half of the expectations that Derek White is. And then for the last trade we're going to talk about today, because we're not talking about nobodies like Aaron Holiday, the Mavericks sent Kristaps Porzingis to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. Now look, I think for the Mavericks, this is a good look. They just needed a shakeup. Kristaps gets injured so often, it's just a waste. Davis Bertans can shoot. He has the ability to shoot. Is he efficient while doing it? No. Shoots like 33% from 3 this season. However, though, that reputation does hold up a little bit, so maybe teams will take some attention off of Luka to Davis Bertans. Does that sound crazy? To be doubling off of Luka to go close out on Davis Bertans? Yes, it does. But that's what the Mavs hope. Spencer Dinwiddie, an okay guard. I mean, he's been so inefficient this season. It's pretty freaking ugly. But look, it's not completely his fault. He doesn't have Bradley Beal to take pressure off him. Luka Doncic can help Spencer Dinwiddie, and he can help Davis Bertans become better players because he is just one of, if not the best playmakers on the planet. Thank you guys for watching my video, man. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, do all that, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out. Hey.
Come on, I got a bag on me. You try to take it, leave you stinking like your last homie. Shit kinda cakey, little baby, put that ass on me. But I ain't that horny, do you got some cash for me? Why every time you ask him that, bitches act funny? And you keep trying to hold the strap, you won't slap for me. You too happy, I can tell you never had money. Every time you get on live, gotta flash money.